not tripping. I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin. Yeah. I'm okay.
What up, though, and welcome to Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com. I'm Eazy, Spencer, Christopher, Nicholas.
I dressed myself
Daniel.
today.
Yeah, Chris dressed himself today. Before the show started, my man was rocking the fucking Red Wings ring wheel backwards.
Yeah.
It was a chest stamp on his fucking non-existent lats. What is the full word for lat?
Lieutenant or something dorsi.
We know where Spanish side's at.
Latimus dorsi.
Latimus dorsi, something like that.
Something like that. If you guys know the Woodward Sports chat.
I never heard of no Latavia.
I ain't never heard of no Latavia. Damn.
All right, I try to pull a last-minute audible because it's been a topic abused all day. I'm actually surprised it made its way nationally. I thought it was going to be a local thing because nobody. It is Detroit versus everybody. At least I feel that it's Detroit versus everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't know that people would give a fuck enough to show Detroit the grief they have, but it is off-season for the NFL. It made national storylines. Sar Thompson tackled by DiVincenzo in the closing seconds of the Detroit Pistons game last night.
Yeah.
Absolute horseshit.
No call.
And then they called the foul. Matter of fact, we got the sequence.
Yeah.
Right here, Chris, if you want 3-cam it, if we have it, if you're ready for it. This is ridiculous. This shit's disgusting. Nick, feel free to keep the mics on if you want. Chris, just let it loop, actually, because this is just, it's disgusting.
I got it set to loop.
I don't have, it's just insanity, bro. This is insane. Tackled, ball's picked up. Obviously, the play carries on. That's a whistle. We don't have the sound now, but that was a whistle.
Yeah.
To watch it from that angle, Spinny, pissed me off more than anything because the New York Knicks showed this on their social media as like a flex.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
It's
gritty win.
Yeah. They said it was some shit like that. What? This is disgusting, bro.
Yeah.
It's literally rugby. Look at that.
What are we doing, man? That's inexcusable. And then that was a whistle. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Deja vu too. That's
pretty
the
bad.
second game in a row that Duran got a foul late in the game to
Same
lose
way.
the game. Yep.
Did you see somebody broke down the one with
Paulo Banchero
said it wasn't a travel?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It was definitely a
You
travel.
hop with 2 feet and it just counts as one step.
That was the travel.
That's
was
wild to me.
Dumbest breakdown I've ever seen in my life.
Well, then I Googled it. Okay, like, does 2 feet count as a step? And by
This is
definition.
just okay. All right, I talked about it. Like Cade not getting the calls when he goes to the lane is one thing, but not calling a travel on Paulo Banchero was terrible. Not calling a foul for literally tackling a guy on the sideline right in front of you. The ref was standing right there, and the dude tackles it. Dante DiVincenzo playing free safety, runs up, makes the hit on Asor. No call. No, that's fine. Fuck that, dude. Fuck that shit. Adam Silver, if you don't do something about this shit, don't show your face in Detroit ever again. You're not welcome. Trick's gonna put you on the no-fly list because that shit's not fucking cool. We're an 8-win team. 8-win team, and you're fucking jerking us like that? What the hell is this shit? He was standing right in front of him. James Harden gets breathed on, and it's a foul call. Asor Thompson got tackled trying to get a fast break opportunity, and you don't call it. This is horse shit. Shout out to Monty for standing up and actually saying something about it and doing something and taking the fine and saying, fuck that shit, fuck these refs. Because that's horse shit, man. It's literally Detroit versus everybody. And so I don't know if we got to do some like longest yard shit and send some people out there to just chuck balls at the refs' nuts until they start making calls. But that is fucking egregious. And like I said, Adam Silver, if you don't do something about it, never come to Detroit again. Just don't do it.
I don't think anyone could have said it any better than this, but yeah, that was fucking phenomenal.
Let him cook.
Speaking of Monty Williams, we have the audio from him last night too, or the video from him last night. So I love seeing this, and I don't know what it translates to down the road.
Where's the New York media now?
The absolute worst call of the season. No call. And enough's enough. We've done it the right way. We've called the league. We've sent in clips. We're sick of hearing the same stuff over and over again. We had a chance to win the game, and the guy dove into Asar's legs, and there was a no call. That's an abomination. You cannot miss that in an NBA game, period. And I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of our guys asking me, what more can we do, coach? That situation is Exhibit A to what we've been dealing with all season long, and enough's enough. You cannot dive into a guy's legs in a big-time game like that and there be a no call. It's ridiculous, and we're tired of it. We just want a fair game called, period. And I got nothing else to say. We want a fair game, and that was not fair. I'm done.
Let me see this camera real quick, Chris. This is coming from a guy who's literally self-sabotaging the fucking season. He has packed the season up. He is unified with a terrorist group to destroy the Detroit Pistons organization. That's coming from that guy. So if you got some shade of reaction from him, who's like openly taking to lose his fucking job, that's how much of a bullshit non-call that was. Just to point it out that way. Just point it out that way.
MPWMU says shitty teams don't get calls. I understand that to a point. To a point where it's Cade Cunningham driving to the lane. If he gets hit on the arm and they don't call it like they call it on LeBron or Jason Tatum or somebody like that, I can understand that to a point. But that was blatantly a disgusting game-turning, game-sealing foul call that wasn't called. He tackled the guy right in front of the ref. It wasn't, oh, he just hit him on the arm. He lunged at his knees. It's dirty. It's illegal. And it should have been a foul. And it changed, and you lost the game for you single-handedly, ref. I don't know who your name is, but you stupid blind motherfucker. That was awful. That is blatant, disgusting. I want to call it tampering because, like I said, if it's just a slap on the arm when he's going for a layup and you don't call that, I'll chalk that up to shitty teams don't get calls. But he dove at his kneecaps when he had the ball with a 1-point lead with like 10 seconds left. What is that shit?
It's to the point where player safety comes into call. And the other thing, too, I don't want to say half the reason they're a shitty team, but part of the reason they're a shitty team is because they're also not getting fucking calls. Cade Cunningham, who's a future star in this league, I think he's proven it the past 3 games, didn't get a foul call until last night in a 3-game stretch. And that's what them playing at the point until last night's game. 61 minutes played, 56 points scored, not a single foul called. Like half the reason they're a shitty team is the officiating. And obviously it's not just Cade Cunningham either. You saw that situation with Asar Thompson. We had the picture up. Do you have the picture actually real quick, Chris? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I know you want to speak of this too. But I just like, this is fucking crazy because at this point you want to call in player safety as well. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. And then again, to watch the sequence as we did a little bit earlier. If you guys are just coming in and you miss it, rewind. Because this is the fucking perfect angle to see it. If we had sound of that video, you hear a whistle called on Jalen Duren straight up in the fucking air. Playing defense like how you should, textbook. That was called the foul, but the tackle. The football play made by Dante DeVito. This wasn't called the fucking foul. But this was. What are we doing? And we mentioned this at the beginning of the season. I told myself. I meant to win the game with you. I remember that's the day I broke it. I was like, I'm not watching Sequel Pistons game to correct the fucking officiating. This is fucking disgusting. Yeah. Then I went to a game with Chris. It hasn't been fixed all season. And again, I'm not making excuses for the Detroit Pistons, but this has played a part in some of these wins. I'm sorry, some of these losses, I should say.
That one definitely, 1,000%.
But just in general, I mean, even going back to the Paolo Banchero one too.
Yeah.
That was a travel. Chris, go ahead and speak your piece, man. I apologize.
That's exactly where I was going with it, the player safety, because this is a move that we could see end a player's season. This is a move that can not only end this player's season, but also jeopardize their next season. Like, this is a very dangerous play. So that is why I'm even more upset. Yeah, I get it. You know, we don't get calls, and like Spencer said, if it's a slap on the wrist, fine. But this is one that literally could have taken out Asar. This could have ended his season. He could have lost his season last night. For what? It was ridiculous. It was stupid. It was just an egregious call. And the craziest thing is that it's not the most egregious call in the last 2 months of Detroit officiating. Yeah. Like, go back to the Lions game. Like, this is terrible. This is terrible. This needs to be fixed. And I don't want to be that guy that's crying, my team never gets calls. But you know what? When you have the Dallas play and then you have this, how the fuck can you not say something? How the fuck can you just be like, well, you know, we got to play harder, guys? What do you tell these young guys? These are guys that they aren't veterans. These are young guys that are trying to build winning habits. How do you instill confidence in them? How do you keep them believing and fighting for a season that we know is lost when stuff like this happens, when you could finally almost get a win, and then something like that happens, and you have to go in there the next day, if you're Monty Williams, and say, hey, guys, we need to keep playing hard. How do you do that, man?
Yeah.
And Monty's been terrible, and that was a PR layup for him to do what he did. I don't want to take any discredit from it, but it was a very easy thing to do. There's still plenty more to be talked about when it comes to Monty. But I feel bad for him today in practice. What is he telling the guys in walk-arounds before the game today? What is he telling them?
Same shit he's got to him, man.
They're probably deflated as hell. They played tonight in Chicago. You know, that's a game that they deserved to win last night. And sadly, we've seen this all year. It comes down to the last 30 seconds, and this is one where it's just so blatantly obvious that we deserve the win in that one. But I want to go back to 2 nights ago. Paolo, 9 free throws. Cade, 0. 2 number 1 picks.
Yeah.
Orlando, like 8 games over 500. Pistons with 8 wins. There's so many different ways that these seasons can go, and last night it's just the cherry on top of just everything that's going the way.
One quick thing to point out: the Pistons did shoot more free throws than the Knicks last night.
They did.
So, but that doesn't excuse
that's
that
the part
call.
I hate about it too. Is it comes on a night where Cade actually got a call.
Yeah.
Cade got more than one free throw last night. I think it's 6 or 7. I think it might have been 8. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
But that's the part that sucks. Okay, he's finally getting his calls.
Some of them were bonuses, though. Some of them were they were over the limit, and what wasn't a shooting foul.
Yeah.
Just kind of he got.
I know he got bogey on the 3.
Yeah.
But and that's the other part of it too. It's not like we're bitching for Cade, like you said. Oh, my team. No, you go and watch Cade Cunningham play, and this guy's getting fucking slapped to the wrist every single time he's driving to the lane, and in 2 games straight, not a single call. And this, by the way, again, him scoring 56 points in the same time frame. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's not just us being woe is me. This is actually bullshit happening before our eyes. And again, I'm glad that it happened post NFL season to where it's making national headlines now. I'm glad that Stephen A is able to call it out. I'm glad that I heard a Rich Eisen call it out on the way in today too. I'm happy at least that's part of it. I just don't know I hope it gets fixed because somebody in the chat talked about the Roger Goodell and Dallas situation. That guy continued to referee. Mm-hmm. He's probably going to referee next year too. They did pull him out of the postseason this year. But obviously, there's fucking something wrong there. Get him off the fucking field. That is egregious, especially in the day and age where you can't turn on a sports station or fucking regular station, news station, YouTube without seeing a gambling ad too. But let's throw that in there too, because that makes the shit a lot more disgusting. It's crazy, and I get that weed's legal here in just Michigan, but gambling's become more of a national thing, where it's that's kind of an open habit that we're commercializing for people. I realized it this year my own damn self. I'm damn, I do spend a lot of money on here, and I'm negative.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I am negative. Even when I feel like I'm hitting nice, the overall turnover is negative.
For sure.
And you're advertising that nonstop, and that's the type of officiating you have in that situation. That's fucked up. It can't carry on.
Yeah, it's terrible, and it keeps happening. Like I said, Adam Silver, you got to do something about it. This is on you, buddy. This is your NBA. Make something happen.
Yeah. And for me, because I didn't, wow, we were pretty passionate there. We were already up at the break here, but I need Cade to respond tonight. And I know it's tough because it's not just like last night. There's the season of the no calls, the shitty calls, and the losses. But I just need to see that dog in him tonight.
Yeah.
I need Cade to respond just so I know we have a dog. The same way I had the expectation of Ivy last Thursday, and he broke my heart with it. No, I hate to do it to Cade, but I do hold Cade to a higher standard. I need something out of him tonight.
No, I need to see Monty try to coach a winning basketball game. That's what I need to do. I need to see
last
13
night,
players.
Shit.
I need to see 13 players. Oh, trust me. Look, there's notes. Ivy did not play in the fourth quarter, but
Grimes was on fire in the second half.
Flynn played 4.5 minutes. Give those minutes to Ivy. No discussion there. Yeah. Mike Muscala coaches no play. Come on, what are we doing here? There's still Monty stuff to get into. I want to see Monty next game step up to this and be like, you know what, guys? We're not losing this fucking game. I'm actually going to coach.
I want that. Hearing him speak like that last night, yes, sir. That better be what comes out of this, at least.
I want it.
Do you guys have expectations that it will, though? Because that's 2 completely different things.
That's the other part why it's demoralized, too, because it's tonight the back-to-back.
Yeah.
You got the wear down of it all, too. This is why tonight will be a situation I decide what Monty is or not. Because up until like last night, I think this is coming from a guy who's fucking tanking his job. Tonight is an opportunity for me to like buy some Monty stock.
Yeah.
As much as I've sold. I actually have 0 Monty stock at the moment. But
Neil put a get right out there for Cade over 22.5.
let's run it.
10.5 point dogs, too.
Hey, we cleaned up last night, Nick.
We did.
We'll hook up again today. We'll do it over the last segment.
All right, let me tell you guys about Jack Labrador. Football season is over and spring training is here. However, Jack Labrador is 24/7, 365 days a year. Learn how to play now on your phone at jacklabrador.gg. 2 points, or 2 new symbols, and a franchise-changing 3-point play. And remember that once you go Jack, you never go back. Go to jacklabrador.gg now and join in on the fun.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? It's a new era in sports wearables. Amazing appeal, the ultimate swag. Check out woodwardsports.com. By clicking the shop tab today, you can get hoodies, tees, hats, all guaranteed to turn heads. So head on over to woodwardsports.com and click the shop tab today.
What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights. I'm Eazy. That's Spin More Rax.
What
we
up,
got
though?
Young Chris, Uncle Nick.
Let's go.
And a special guest on the couch cam.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. So,
Doubled
Spinny,
up on Spinny.
how'd you feel about last night's game?
That's how I felt about last night's game.
Real quick before we jump into, I guess we got a lot of Detroit Lions talk today too, boys. Dan Campbell hit the podium
Yeah.
with a dip in his mouth. Something about your head ball coach.
Dan Campbell's the
Hitting the
man.
podium with some dip in his mouth. Makes you feel like your organization's doing things right.
Hell
Am I
yeah.
right? But before we get into anything, I just want to read this comment from Broder in the Woodward Sports chat in regards to Terrion Arnold, cornerback out of Alabama. He says, Terry on my wayward son. I just want to say that. That'd be fucking sick. If we draft him, and every time he gets a pick, we just play that.
Once I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. Though my eyes could see, I still was a blind man. Though my mind could see, I still was a madman. I hear the voices when I'm dreaming. I can hear them say, Terry on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done.
Copyright.
Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Dan Campbell spoke to the media today. He hit the presser, had a lot of good things to say. One of the things, my first takeaways has got me excited for the Detroit Lions was him speaking on the new coaching staff. And Chris, I don't know if you had that video already or queued up or not, but let's hear that one.
You know, but to be able to get Terrell Williams, somebody that I've had experience with, I think he's the best D-line coach in the league. If he's not, he's certainly right up there. I think he knows how to develop. He's got experience in game planning, and he's going to be beneficial for our guys up front. Deshae Townsend played a long time, coached a long time. He's going to be able to deliver exactly what AG wants in the back end. And so those guys are going to be vital. And then certainly Jim O'Neill's the defensive assistant, been a coordinator in this league. and has a wealth of experience. So those guys will be good for us defensively. Really help AG finish the vision of what we're looking for.
Dan Campbell, a guy that we all know and love. If you don't know,
now you know.
Now you know. And if you don't love him, you're just stupid. I don't know what to tell you at that point. But he put the stamp on Terrell Williams as the best defensive line coach in the league. Now, Dan Campbell is a respected coach in the league. To go out there and say something like that. And mind you, Dan Campbell is like, he'll hold himself back from saying like wild shit like that. Like he has been like truthful when speaking on guys like Jared Goff. I mean, everyone.
J-Mo,
right? So J-Mo, you know, he may not ever have elite hands.
Yeah.
He called Terrell Williams the best defensive line coach in the league, and we've already had high expectations for him. Spinning, how that's got you feeling, man?
It's got me feeling pretty good. It's got me feeling like Broderick Martin's going to do something next year. It's got me feeling like Josh Pascal can make a break and be an upper echelon player on this defense. Like, this is a guy who likes that type of player. Who likes that Josh Pascal, that John Kaminsky, that guy you can move around in the middle or on the outside, a big, fast Danico Autry, one of those guys that can do multiple things on the defensive line. This is a guy who can unlock the true potential of these guys. He can make them legitimate dudes on this defense, and hopefully, please God, hopefully, can get Broderick Martin on the goddamn field. I just want to see him out there. This big, 6'5", 350-pound mammoth of a human being. Get him on the fucking field, please. Please. That's all I'm asking. I just want to see him in between Aleem and Hutch, getting those double teams, being a eater, eating it for lunch. Like, that's what we need to see.
I am a fan
and
of guys
do think
big
Terrell
butts.
Williams, he's going to be a hell of a lot better than John Scott Jr. I can tell you that right now wholeheartedly. Hopefully he can unlock the potential of these guys.
He's got the resume. Like, I remember when we hired John Scott Jr., we looked back and we're like, oh, there's Micah Parsons. Oh, Micah Parsons wasn't there when he was coaching. And then we're like, okay, well, let's write it out. Dan can be the hire. Let's do it. This guy has a track record. This guy has a resume of having guys come out, whether collegiate or professionally, produce on his defensive line. As a matter of fact, he also, and I think a lot of us already know this, but if you didn't, he's also the former defensive line coach for one Brad Holmes. And he has some good things to say about him, too.
He's, so Terrell, I want to say that was his first position coach job. He might have been a GA at East Carolina when he got done playing. And so I believe A&T might have been his first position coach job. But Terrell, man, he's a great teacher. He's a straight shooter. He's really the first coach that really taught me the nuances of achieving what you want to achieve on the field behind the scenes. He's the one that used to bring me in and sit me down and watch tape with me all summer and kind of learn those ins and outs and developing a relationship so, you can build that trust with the coach. And then when, he was a great coach in terms of holding us accountable. And so you built that trust, and when we didn't do the right thing, he held us accountable. And we didn't like it all the time, but he's an excellent teacher. I'm not surprised with the success that he's had. Even when I was a young scout, he was in the college ranks. I want to say he was at Purdue for a while, and he produced a lot of good defensive linemen out there at coming out of Purdue at that time. And I believe I was a combine scout at the time, and that's when I really knew, like, okay, I knew that you were always a good coach, but when he was producing all those defensive linemen out of Purdue, I was like, okay, this guy's cooking with gas. But not surprised, very happy, obviously, him being my D-line coach in college, not why he's here. He's here because of his body of work.
And just real quick, this is off the top of my head, too. You want to speak about like a body of work. So again, he has pieces he's produced into the NFL, and guys that he's had professionally under him produce as well. We already know about Danico Autry, a guy that we kind of want to bring here as a free agent because of what Terrell Williams has been able to do with him. Let me carry that list on to Cliff Averill. He worked with there at Purdue. Yep. Justin Simmons over there at Tennessee Titans. I mean, these are just a few of the names. But those are names you recognize. I mean, maybe not Danico Autry, but you look at the numbers, you're like, okay, maybe I should have fucking known that guy. Why didn't I know who that guy was? But Justin Simmons, you sure as hell know. These are like top-tier guys in the defensive line. And just one more quote from Dan Campbell. Again, I think he knows how to develop. He's got experience in game planning. He's going to be beneficial for our guys up front. And I fully expect that. I had the expectation before that. But hearing these words, I guess, solidified from Dan Campbell himself, now I'm a full believer. Now I know it's going to happen. He called him the best defensive line coach in the league, bro. That is high praise from Dan Campbell. I promise you it is. And I'm not convincing anybody in this room. I know you guys know that. But for the listener at home, expect something out of this, especially with a Broderick Martin. I hate to sit here and tell you guys a need for my team, a piece that I want for my team is a space-eating defensive tackle. When we drafted one in the third round, moved up to draft one in the third round last year. And we saw a splash play out of him the very first play in pads that we've seen in person when he's tackling our number one running back in Dave Montgomery. That's probably going to change this year too. Jahmyr Gibbs obviously doing his damn thing. But we know we have like the potential there. Now we got Terrell Williams to hopefully put that into motion.
It's not like this guy that's going to unlock Aiden Hutchinson and make him a 20-sack Myles Garrett type of guy.
Shit, what if he does?
That'd be nice. But I don't think you're going to see it a lot out of Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see it a lot out of the other guys.
Yes, I agree.
The other guys, the Josh Paschals, the John Kaminsky's, the opposite, the Will Ferrells, the Mark Wahlbergs, the opposite of Hutch. Like the guys you want to see it out of, the guys you need to see improvement out of, he's going to go in there, he's going to tweak it. Because Hutch is going to be Hutch. Hutch is going to be his guy. Yeah. And we know if he had some help, he would have had more sacks than he did last year. But I think that the other guys are going to get benefited from this. You're going to see the guys who had 1, 2, 2.5 sacks next year having 5, 6, 6.5, and it's going to go throughout the entire defensive line. And in turn, that will help Hutch because that means more eyes on more people, so you can't triple team and chip Hutch every snap.
Yeah.
But still, I don't think Hutch will be this Myles Garrett guy because of the re-signing, but I think the other guys are going to be so much more improved.
Yeah, and I just thought of one more name to add to that list too, and kind of like there's a little bit of the recipe we got cooking here. But Cameron Wake over there with Miami, Terrell Williams also had to deal with him. That's a guy from the CFL coming to the NFL and just took over the league. What did the Lions just do this past offseason? I mean, the offseason's not even over. Yeah, we just got ourselves Matthew Betts. No, again, a lot of you guys expect some crazy shit out of him. I don't have that expectation, but now that I'm looking at Terrell Williams' resume and knowing he's done that already with the Cameron Wake, maybe I might have to shave my beard or whatever bet I put on the line for those 6.5 sacks.
4.5.
4? No.
Yes, it was.
No, you tried to change it 4.5.
It was 4.5.
No. I remember you told me to change it. I ain't fucking no 4.5.
Go grab the tape. It was 4.5.
Grab the tape.
Speaking of a guy that put up more than 4.5, he was hurt all last year, but a guy like James Houston, do you think he can maybe take him to another level with his experience that he brings to this D-line room? Because we've seen what he's able to do opposite Hutch in some spots a couple of years ago.
So my answer for that one kind of like varies, only because James Houston, we know that he works with like Shepard as well.
Yeah, linebacker.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's sometimes in that linebacker room and he's used as like a edge specialist. But I feel like he's majority working with the linebackers. I would like for him to be working with at least give Terrell Williams an opportunity to see like what he can cook up with them. I want him in the line rushing the quarterback for damn sure, especially if you get Broderick Martin out there producing. And I'm not talking about producing as like far as like a Nick and the numbers. Eat the blocks.
Yes.
Get Aiden these one-on-one matchups. Get Houston these one-on-one matchups so they can capitalize and do what they do best. And that's eat the fucking quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's what we've been asking for is a big guy in the middle, and you got one sitting on your team that didn't play at all last year. So hopefully, Tyrell Williams can come in here and he can get the best out of Broderick Martin to make him a piece that will benefit those around him. And that's what we expected out of him. We don't expect him to be DeForest Buckner or Aaron Donald or anything like that. Just demand a double team so the other guys can free up for one-on-ones.
Absolutely. And I know it's a fire-ass show because it's the second time we've almost gone over the break. It's only the second segment. We've got some more Dan Campbell, got some more Brad Holmes, but not before I tell you guys about Feldman Chevrolet. It's the #1 Chevy dealer in the state of Michigan. There's 18 locations across the great state. Find one in your backyard by visiting FeldmanAuto.com to get the best car buying experience in the game. That's FeldmanAuto.com, and check out Woodward Sports with BDE and Wake Up Woodward live every other Monday at Feldman Chevrolet of Novi.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service the customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today and find the brands you want at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford, find new roads.
What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights Live on Woodwardsports.com. I'm your boy Eazy, joined by guys Spinmo Rax, Young Chris, Uncle Nick, a.k.a. Detroit Mario, Nicholas Koloff. Hit the like button if you guys haven't already. We appreciate it. It means the world to us. But also, Brad Holmes was the only GM to speak to the media today, Spinny. And I don't know if you got to see this yet. Nick, I don't know if you got to see this yet. I know, Chris, you have because you upload the graphics. But Green Bay Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst.
Brian what?
Brian Gutekunst.
That can't be real.
Gutekunst. Yeah, I feel like I'm just making up words right now. Had some subliminal shots for the Detroit Lions here. This is pertaining to a question asking about them chasing the Detroit Lions for the division. And in his answer, he said, around here, we've never hung banners for division championships. So it's never been about that. It's a nice starting point, but I think we're always looking for bigger things. End quote. Look at this smug fucking look of this guy.
Gutekunst, he hasn't won any Super Bowls as the Packers GM.
He has not.
He is not. Packers have won one Super Bowl in my lifetime.
That is true, I think.
It is true. The only one they won other than 2010 or 2011 was 96, and that was in February, and I was born in September. So in my lifetime, since I've been on the face of this earth, they've only won one. And I understand it's one more than us. But we're catching up to you next year, bud. So you better reset those standards, and maybe you should start hanging banners for being the Lions, because we're going to be tapping that ass for the next few years. Lions run the North, man. I know that might not mean anything to you now because you're not going to win the NFC North for a while, but talking shit like you've done all this and you've done all that, you haven't won a Super Bowl in your tenure, man. So maybe you should set the bar a little lower, because if that's where the bar is set, you've been consistently failing since you took over.
Brian Gutekunst, McStukenstoosh, have only won one division since Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes stepped foot in Allen Park. Brian Gutekunst and the Green Bay Packers are only 2-4, currently 2-4 against Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, the Detroit Lions.
Ooh, I think it's not good.
They stepped foot in Allen Park. That's including the loss that they gave you guys in Lambeau when you had an opportunity to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I get there's a rivalry and there's going to be subtle shots, but to first of all, you just have the look on your face and you think you're better than everybody. You just do. No offense. You have one of those, like, I want to punch you in the faces. And you rock
Cheese
it.
dick
You know
face,
it. You look at that fucking Ugg mug every day when you look in the mirror. But to sit there and speak all high and mighty, like you've overcome the Detroit Lions and the new regime's tenure, you're wrong.
Yep.
You're not. And now, because you've already had to see, you know how hungry this organization is already. You know the savages we have, both in Brad Holmes, you see them celebrating, you fucking get goosebumps on your neck. The woo! Breaking Dan Campbell's hand. You know the fucking man that Dan Campbell is. They tried making him a girl for the fuck of it yesterday, and no one wanted none of it. But we would fuck your coaching quarterback. Just saying. We all openly admit to picking your coaching quarterback number one on those lists. You just fed those animals more bulletin board material.
Yep.
You were about to. What were you doing, fam? I mean, I'm glad you did it. By the way, I'm happy. Like I need stuff to talk about, and they need stuff to chew on as well.
Yeah.
Like the kneecaps don't suffice. They did any more. Brian Gutekunst, you're going to look like an absolute douchebag by the end of this season.
Yeah.
I'm calling it right now. The Green Bay Packers, you guys were good last year, and you got your shit going along. Yes. But by the end of next season, again, I don't think we're going to hang any banners for next year's division win. By the way, do you think? I mean,
they'll probably add it on there.
You think we'll put it on there?
Yeah.
Even if we do, you're going to eat your words. At one point, you might even be there long enough to see another Green Bay Packers division win.
I was just about to say that. Hey, Gutekunst, I guarantee Brad Holmes' tenure as GM in Detroit lasts longer than yours, bud. So you might want to lower that expectations before you're doing them somewhere else. Because you're not going to get a shot at the NFC. You're not going to be able to hang a division title banner because you're not going to have a shot at it for a while, Gutekunst. Because Brad Holmes is here. He's a much better GM than you are, and he ain't going nowhere. So, get ready. Because if your expectations are that high, if the team's expectations are that of you, you're going to be packing your bags pretty soon.
Got a comment in the Woodward Sports chat from GBDNCENT, and the GB stands for Green Bay Packer, because obviously a Green Bay Packers fan. He says, I mean, he's just speaking for himself. He's speaking historically for the franchise. Y'all overreact. No. There was no reason for him to bring up the around here. We've never hung banners for division championships. We knew what that meant.
Yeah.
We knew what that meant. And maybe it's just a Detroit mentality. We take every little thing you can give us and we make a Michael Jordan meme. Take that personally. But it's okay. It's what we do. It's how we end up on top. I don't want to say we encourage disrespect because we're always going to react to it. But when it happens, it's only fuel for us.
Prepared for it.
Yep. It's only fuel for like the city in general, no matter where it's come from. Detroit and the city itself been doubted. That's on a little bit of a comeback too. Matter of fact, we're hosting the NFL draft this year. Doubt us, disrespect us. Like I said, just know it's only be more fuel in the tank for when we're running over your ass when it comes to division wins.
It sucks, man. I understand. Like, you got to hold on to something. And
Gluten douche.
That
Josh
that one Super Bowl that Aaron Rodgers carried you guys through. I get it. Like you I don't know where you were at that time because you weren't in the Packers organization. You weren't the Packers GM when they won that Super Bowl.
He was in the scouting department, I think.
Yeah, you weren't the GM.
Bitch.
So, yeah, you don't get credit for that.
Yeah,
Nobody says, oh, I'm glad Gutekunst scouted that 6th-round cornerback that doesn't play on the team anymore. Gutekunst, get out of here with that bullshit.
More like Guten douche, am I right, Josh?
Yeah,
B?
brother.
Just low-hanging fruit there, it feels like. You know, it was such a special season for the Lions. And, yeah, we're going to hang a banner. Guess what we did at home this year in the playoffs? We went 2-0. Last time you had a home playoff game, lost it to the goddamn San Francisco 49ers. So, yeah, that's what happened when you have been the GM under your tenure. All right, we're 2-0 at home. You're 0-1 the last time you went. So, there you go. See you in the playoffs next year when you come into Ford Field and you look at that banner in a loss. Let's go.
Yes, sir. And again, I think the Packers are probably, as it sits right now, probably the second best team in the division. But that's not the first. So, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What type of conversations are we having here?
It's all right. You never punch down, though. They're always punching up. You want to take a shot at the reigning kings, we understand. We run the North. And you're just our little brother in the corner, yelling, screaming, try to punch. But it doesn't matter. Because when we get on the field next year and we clap that ass and we win the North again, we're going to put 2024 on that banner too.
Why is picture Ice Spice when you said that?
That's the ass to clap.
Yeah. That's the ass the Packers are.
Yeah, hey. How ass the
Whole lot of
Packers?
ass.
Whole lot of ass. No, all seriousness though, like, and I know we talked a little bit about it like the other day, but like, we're like we should be able to talk our shit, right? I mean, like, we're gonna add to like what we were last year.
For sure, going to be able to talk our shit. First of all,
you ain't rap long enough.
We won the division, so we can talk our shit. We can say, we are better than you because we won the division and we won another playoff game. And on top of that, you know, we're going to do it again next year.
Yep.
So be ready for that.
Want to read one in the chat? Shout out Eduardo for this one. Remember, Nick, same GM that had to put out a statement because we infiltrated that field after week 4.
It's true.
We took over.
Yeah.
That is facts.
Great comment there.
I was gonna make one more point too about like maybe like the division standings there, but I don't remember what it was. It was something somewhat respectful to them, but that's what I was gonna say. Actually,
Phil says Pack is a good team. Pack are a good team.
Yeah, they are.
We're a better team.
Yeah.
We're a better team.
Because here's the thing, too, is like, I think their defense kind of turned it around a little bit in the back half of last year. I know they fired him. They got a new defensive coordinator they're kind of proud about. But, like, Dan Campbell spoke about today, and I don't know if we have it in any of our clips, but he mentioned, like, the talking about just, like, Detroit Lions. It's not a Detroit Lions, like, 101 when you're coming into camp this year. It's advanced now. We're on a 401 because we have the same coaching staff, the same schemes. Everything's the same in terms of like your head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Now, there may be some position coach changes, but I'm of the belief that philosophy changes. We just want to get you better fine-tuned as individuals with these other like position coach changes. Like, we are steps ahead of like where they're going to be. On top of the fact, again, we're turning everybody to like what was a division champ and an NFC conference contender, if you will. But we're going to add to that in this draft class. And we're also going to, and by the way, Brad Holmes' draft classes, they compete right away. They hit the field right away. And that, I know some of those come from like the top of the draft. Obviously, you have Aiden Hutchinson, Jahmyr Gibbs. But we also have those hits in the back half, too. Amon St. Brown, Kirby Joseph,
James Houston,
Sam Laporta, Brian Branch.
James Houston.
So we're cooking with that as well. Oh, thank you for Brian Branch on top of that, Mr. We don't hang those type of banners around here. Thanks for Brian Branch, bro. Thanks for that.
What's his name again? Golden Douche?
Yeah, Golden Douche.
Poop and Scoop.
I feel like I wouldn't have been as aggressive with this if it just, could we just put the quote up one more time? Just the face, dude. Because this is the same face he made when he was making the comment. It was like like the dude, I can't even.
That is
It's a little smug
ass
cheese
head.
dick smile.
Yeah, dude. Smug cheese dick smile. I could have said it better myself. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Can you do it?
That's a square ass head.
Right? Like, it doesn't even fit you. It's just, you have to be that type of guy to have that look. I'm telling you. Hold on, let me try. Not doing it? Nick, you got it in you?
I got the stash in
Yeah,
me
you might have a
right
little
now,
bit in you.
so
Let's see. Okay, yeah, you got a little bit. Yeah.
The stash helps me out on that one.
Douchebag. Chris, you just ugly all the time. I'm
Chris,
I'm
you
kidding.
know-
Let's see if you got it in you, Chris. You got some douchebag in
Chris,
you?
you got the Wisconsin blood in you. Isn't he a Wisconsin guy?
What?
He's got Wisconsin
I think this guy's from
something in it. It's not
Wisconsin.
blood.
Either way, when we get back, Dan Campbell speaks on their philosophy when it comes to acquiring free agents and whatnot to the Detroit Lions roster. But before we do that, Spinny, tell us about Guardian Alarm.
Guardian Alarm will offer you customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. They also have 24/7 professional monitoring. You can call them anytime, day or night, and know a Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. And of course, they have technology backed by people, your safety and security. Deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. So call them at 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
And let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. How would you like to win not one, but two vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Dispo Dispensary is your local cannabis plug because of 12 locations across the great state of Michigan. They got the best bud tenders, the largest supply of curated cannabis, and brand name products that you know and love. Hit up Dispo Dispensary, the best bud tenders, everything in the game. And if you check out the one in Romeo, they're open till midnight. It's worth stopping in. It's the first cannabis mall of its kind in the state of Michigan. Again, that's Dispo, your local cannabis plug.
Between Brad and myself, the success we've had in places that we've been has really been that way, and that's what it comes from. Man, you want to be a good team, you have to draft well, and then you re-sign those guys. I mean, that's your core, and then you find the right pieces of free agents to fill in with. So we both believe that, and so I think you got to be careful. You want to go spend top dollar on a free agent that's not your own. You want to know everything about that player before you bring him into your locker room. I mean, you can see the tape, all these, but whereas your own guys, you pay top dollar for your own guys that are worthy from production because you know everything about them, right? So it's something we believe in. It's something that we're going to continue to do.
This is literally the third time that they've expressed as an organization that the money they spend will more than likely, or not even more than likely, I'm saying more than likely because I'm hopeful they get a big name guy, but it's going to be on the internal guys. It's going to be on the Amon-Ra St. Browns. It's going to be on the Jared Goffs. It's not going to be on the Chris Jones. Obviously, Matabuke got franchise tagged today, or he's going to be franchise tagged today. Similar situation to a Snead, but they're open to working out a trade or whatever it may be. But the money they spend is going to be internally. They're not going to go out there and get these big name free agents, and they believe that another keyword they've been using too is depth. Winning the headlines in December as opposed to March. Have you conceded, Spinny, that the Detroit Lions are going to acquire these blue chip guys?
No, I haven't conceded.
You're holding out.
I'm holding out. I'm holding out hope. I think they're going to bring in somebody. I do, because they're so close. They can taste it. And he talked about, like, you want to spend money on the guys you have in-house because you know who they are. They've been here before. They're doing this. Now, I don't think they're going to go get Chris Jones or somebody like that, but I do think they're going to bring in somebody to make an impact on the defense. I don't know who it is. I don't know where it is, but I think they're going to bring in someone. And I understand where they're coming from. Like, you definitely got to sign the guys in home. You got to sign, the Amon-Ra St. Browns, the Penei Sewells, the Jared Goffs. But guess what else you need to sign? A difference maker on defense, because your defense flat out wasn't good enough last year. It wasn't. The defensive line was not good enough. The secondary was not good enough. And so sometimes the guys in-house are just not as good as the guys out-of-house. So I don't think they're, like I said, I don't think they're going to sign Chris Jones or even L'Jarius Sneed, but I do think they bring in a piece or two.
Nick, have you conceded on landing a blue chip free agent?
Yeah, this one hurts. It's like kind of right up to it. It's, are you ready to be hurt again? We remember what happened at the trade deadline when he didn't go out and make a move, and sadly it ended up coming to bite us in the biggest game. Our number 2 cornerback took one off the face for a massive touchdown for Brandon Ayuk in the NFC Championship game. Am I ready to concede? I believe one of these free agents maybe doesn't get the contract they're looking for and is willing to sign a 1-year deal late, like what happened with a CJ DJ. So I believe that that's going to be the move that they make, but they do not go out and get one of the blue chip guys early on and give them a big contract. Eazy, what are you thinking?
I think I have to concede, man. I just don't think it's going down, at least on the open market. Like I could see a trade happening, and we've seen trades happen. I mean, we didn't acquire the blue chip piece in it, but when they made the move for T.J. Hockenson, or got rid of T.J. Hockenson, I should say. Obviously, Jared Goff, that was like a big name trade they made too. We drafted for, listen, I used beef with his people. I don't even remember the man's name, but that's not to say anything. I remember no one's name. But the receiver we got from the Denver Broncos for like that 7th round pick, Trinity Benson. Like,
you're up.
They make moves, but it's not for big name guys. But I think this year is it, man. I really do. And I know they're gonna make certain moves. I think they're just playing down like the moves they're going to make. Because one piece they also bring up, we got awesome last week, but it's depth. And so I think it's going to be like just those rotational guys that we're going to get a plethora of. And it makes sense because guys do get hurt. Like, what is the sense of having a TJ Watt if he's not going to be in the playoff game for you? Yeah. And that's not like any shades toward TJ Watt because he's an absolute dog. Like, don't get it twisted. But like, if I make a move, New York Jets actually, perfect example, right? You move, and they didn't give up too much, but hell and high water to go acquire Aaron Rodgers just from his tear his Achilles in the first game of the year.
You can say that about anybody. You can say that about draft picks you bring in. You can say that about anybody. What happens if Jared Goff tears his Achilles? Then we're fucked. What happens if Penei Sewell does it? Then we're fucked. You can't say, oh, I'm not going to sign somebody because they might get hurt. You can't say that.
You can, though, because I mean,
that's weak, dude.
They grabbed Emmanuel Mosley and witnessed it happen before their eyes. So I guess the way they're looking at it is like, why spend all these assets to acquire a guy in the open market they're going to have to reset the fucking market to even get, so just to not even be sure like what's going to happen like down the line. Like it's just risky business, and I think this is how they look at all these guys. I'm very curious to see the type of deals that Amon-Ra and Jared Goff get, just because of the way they're talking now. And then I get they have hyped up the word internally mentioning those, and we got Jared Goff topic like later on the show too. I wish I grabbed the cut from it. I think I'll try to do it during the commercial break, but I'm conceding, man. I could see him grabbing a piece. It's just not going to be on the open market. It's not going to be like on a rental. It's not going to be like a Chase Young.
They're going to sign any free agents?
They're going to sign free agents. It's not going to be a blue chip guy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, what do you consider a blue chip guy?
I mean, the guys at the top of the position group. They grabbed, they did grab David Montgomery last year.
Yeah.
But the running back contract.
And
obviously,
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
There were guys, but that fell in our lap, and it wasn't like a blue chip nobody. He didn't really get what he wanted on the market. That's why he signed a 1-year prove-it deal. But Dave Montgomery got, but the running back position at that time is kind of devalued. Obviously, the group text that they thought was going to save that. No disrespect to those guys, they're fucking beasts. But like, the running back market's down, right?
Yeah,
we got Dave Montgomery.
You got
like
Eckler
6.
and Derrick Henry hitting free agency right now.
So I just think if they get somebody, it's going to be a guy with a few years left in a deal, in a beefy trade.
Yeah.
That's what I'm conceding.
I think they're going to sign some guy. I don't think Chris Jones was ever in their sights, or the top guy on the market was ever in their sights. But I think they're going to bring in difference makers. I think they're going to bring in a couple guys either on that defensive line or in that secondary that'll play well, and that'll contribute to winning.
I guess isn't there a word for, like, when you really, really want something that you're just like in denial of it? This is like how bad like you need to happen.
Got the blinders on?
Yeah, a little bit of blinders.
Do you consider DJ Reader or Leonard Williams a blue chip guy?
I said Leonard Williams probably being like a blue chip guy. And the only reason why I say that is because we saw and no disrespect to Jadeveon Clowney, but like he got like a pretty nice deal after like being kind of mid throughout his career. Obviously, Odell Beckham getting more than DeAndre Hopkins on the open market last year. Fucking insane. That made zero sense. Like, he has that cachet, the name value. So I can see Leonard Williams kind of like floating a little bit towards that. I don't consider DJ Reader blue chip guys. That's why I say I can't say they're going to acquire those type of dudes. I think we're a blue chip team. So if there's like kind of blue chip guys like towards the end of the career, like this is again to make the Stevie Y reference, like a guy in a Patrick Kane situation in the NFL this year, like 35, still want to get a ring, still play with a winning organization that's doing things the right way. Detroit would be your spot for you, you know. But they're no longer, they're blue chip names, but not blue chip guys.
Yeah.
But listen, I respect what they've done so far, regardless. I feel like they may be a piece away. I know Brad Holmes doesn't believe in that philosophy of it being a one piece away, but maybe that's him saying, hey, it's going to be more than one piece. Maybe we're going to grab a couple of them. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If he does make the move, though, I'm talking about just a trade this year, you guys think it'll be in the draft, or you guys think it'll be like for a guy right now? Because they said they want to fix needs
in free agency.
Yes.
They said they address needs in free agency.
Fuck, man. I don't like this class of free agents. I mean, Kendall Fuller, I did turn around and get myself a little bit excited about that because it is an upgrade over Kendall Vildor at the end of the day. But, like, fuck, bro. We want a lockdown guy.
Yes. Unfortunately, I mean, those guys don't just grow on trees. You know, teams don't really let go of guys like that too often. Maybe they do make a trade. Maybe they trade for one of those guys, whether it be a J.C. Horner or Patrick Surtain that are on the last year of their contract out of that draft class. So we'll see what happens. But Brad Holmes is going to improve this defense. We saw him do it last year with the secondary. It just didn't work out because of obviously the injury of Emmanuel Mosley. But he got 3 players to bring in to be starters on that secondary last year in free agency. I think he gets 2 or 3 players to be key contributors to this defense in free agency this year.
The gears are going in my head.
I'm excited to see what this coaching staff, like what the effect of this player staff has to do with bringing in free agents and the success that we had in the postseason last year with the home field advantages that we had and the away field advantages for that matter. We literally took over stadiums last year. I wonder if that's going to have anything to do with this free agency class where we are actually a destination for the first time. I mean, maybe in my lifetime. I don't know about you guys, but I actually believe we're going to be a destination for some of these free agents.
It feels like that's what they're banking on, right? Is the coaching staff to be the change they want to see in that defense. When speaking about the changes, I mean, that's what Dan Campbell said. They want to fit AG's vision a little bit better. It does sound like that's what they're banking on. And I do believe that Terrell Williams hiring, Deshae Townsend, we got to see that one play out, and then obviously O'Neal as well. But for me, just again, with what we got going on the offensive side of the ball, when it comes down to clutch moments, like I just don't know if we have it there in the playoff games against like the big name teams and JG to get done. Where I feel like you need a complete team all the way around to do it. That's just where I'm at with it. And if we get the blue chip guy, it's probably going to be through the draft. He's going to be a stud, or they're going to make the trade. I just don't know how much more I'm banking up on the trade happening. J.C. Horn's still probably out there. Obviously, I see Surtain. They're picking up his 5th-year options. They have plans to keep him, but the Panthers, who knows what the fuck they're doing? They're about to pay Brian Burns $30 million.
Yeah, I have no idea what the Panthers are doing.
So J.C. Horn actually might be the name.
I've seen it thrown around in the chat a little bit. Could you see the blue chip type player that we're looking for actually already be on this roster and maybe just needs to be unlocked. Spenny, I know you love a guy
Aiden
like
Hutchinson.
Ali McNeil in the middle to pair with Aiden Hutchinson. Easy. Do you think this could be something internal that happens? Because I have the utmost faith that Brian Branch is going to become a superstar for this team as starting his next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ali McNeil's a Pro Bowl talent. If he stays healthy, he can do that. He can be a guy that gives you 7, 8, 9 sacks a year from that interior defensive lineman position. So hopefully he can stay healthy. Hopefully he can go out there and do things. But on top, you still need somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, you still need who else? Like, we only have 3 defensive tackles on the roster right now.
Yeah.
Literally. It's Levi Onwuzurike, who shouldn't be on the roster. No offense to Levi, but
That's
sorry,
terrible.
bud. Broderick Martin and Ali McNeil. Like, you're going to sign they're signing a defensive tackle in free agency.
Yeah.
You can put that on wax. Like, I don't know who it's going to be, but they're definitely bringing somebody in.
You know, I was thinking, too, I was trying to, draw a parallel yesterday to Patrick Kane. You want to talk about a guy who won the Hart Trophy. How about Stephen Gilmore, former defensive MVP out there, kind of towards the end of his playing window, too? Is that guy you comfortable going out there and getting? With that?
Stephon Gilmore?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Again, he's a lot better than fucking Kendall Vildor. No disrespect to Kendall Vildor, but
Yeah.
Stephon Gilmore literally is one defensive player of the year. He's definitely on the back 9 of his career, but he's still a great player.
And I guess to answer your question, Nick, I think they do. I mean, I think Dan Campbell spoke to that a little bit too. They feel like they have their core guys in place, just filling the holes like through free agency and whatnot. I think Aiden obviously is a blue chip guy, but if you're able to get Broderick Martin to step up, produce, and his role to a blue chip level, and now I'm not even talking about necessarily like pass rushing, but just eating up double teams, then yeah, Aiden's gonna shine. And Aleem's going to shine.
Yeah.
We just need that part of it. And I hate to be saying it while he's on the roster, but that's what Terrell Williams is here for. So we'll see, baby. I mean, I'm hoping so.
Yeah, I'd love to supplement it with a Gilmore. Honestly, that'd be great to start this free agency so it's not such a big, wide open need. And another guy that I wanted to single out here is Jack Campbell. And I'd said it about Brian Branch. Big sophomore jump.
I think
incoming.
Jack Campbell's going to have a huge season.
I think so too. I think he's got the run game down. Now it's time to see him flourish as a pass defender. And he's got the frame for it. He's got the athleticism for it. Obviously, we saw Anzalone get his hands on a couple balls this year that equated for like Jerry Jacobs, no disrespect to him, but he's not in the team moving forward. He lost his starting spot. He was able to capitalize on Anzalone getting his hands on balls, So hopefully Jack Campbell can start to take that next step in his development. I believe he will, because I believe in Kelvin Shepard. So that's actually, speaking of acquiring those coaches, Kelvin Shepard obviously been that for our linebacker room. So maybe Terrell Williams can be that for the defensive line.
That'd be nice.
It would be freaking nice.
Be very nice. Let me tell you about Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in 30 minutes, a 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all this for just $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by, more than 50 in Metro Detroit, and thousands more throughout the world. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Big Boy Seafood Fest is sailing in with a fresh catch of favorites. Dive into fish and chips, our new palm-crusted cod, perfectly fried clam shrimp platter, or a delicious fish sandwich. Try our new mango iced tea, the ultimate complement to our popcorn shrimp, our all-new fried pickles, shrimp alfredo, or shrimp stir-fry. Experience all the sea has to offer every Friday night with our all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. Every day is a fish fry, only at Big Boy.
Give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supplies, hands down Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box retailers, with one major difference. They're family and locally owned and operated for 30 plus years. Over 60 brands of food with nutrition experts to help you. Same day local curbside and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com.
What's up, guys? Make sure you hit that like button, 5-star review on all podcast platforms. Be a friend, tell a friend, share the stream.
We, before we get into it, I just saw a quote that Woodward put up there. We talked about Terrell Williams and what he could bring to the defensive line, and he has a quote saying, violent.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you a dissertation. You got to play violent and with effort. So that just is lockstep with what Aaron Glenn wants to be, what Dan Campbell wants his players to be, what this team is. Be violent, be aggressive, play with maximum effort. I think he's going to fit in very well, very well.
No, again, no disrespect to John Scott Jr., but like listening to his introductory press conference, I just didn't get that vibe from him. Like he was kind of like, I don't want to say soft-spoken.
Yeah, laid back.
Yeah, laid back, relaxed.
Timid.
Versus like, you know how Dan Campbell literally came out the gate talking about biting fucking kneecaps.
Mm-hmm.
AG went on podcast talking about, I want to bring back the physicality of football. Then that's how you want your defensive line coach speaking. And that's going to be, and again, he was elsewhere beforehand.
I talk about it all the time. You, especially defensive line, you can't be nice and play defensive line in football. You got to be violent. You got to be aggressive. You got to be angry. You're trying to rip dudes' heads off every play. Like, I want my defensive linemen to be angry, aggressive assholes for the most part.
Absolutely. I mean, as much as like Hutch is he's like a nice guy. We saw in the very first year, his rookie year on Hard Knocks, and preseason him talking that shit to the Falcons offensive lineman.
He
get the
flips the
fuck off
switch.
me. Yeah, he flips the switch. You got to flip the switch when you get there on that field. Couple comments being made in Woodward Sports Chat, and I want to give Travis his due credit because he's the one that first brought it up to us, but I, at the time, thought he had mentioned a different Lattimore. But Marshawn Lattimore over in the Saints, New Orleans.
Yeah.
I looked over the cap, and I don't know if it's been updated since they renewed Derek Carr's contract. I know they took like $20 million down from that one. They just renewed somebody else's contract too. I believe it was like $7 million. But they're still, as it currently sits, over the cap. They have a draft class to sign. They're probably looking to offload a few guys. Lattimore, that fits the mold of a guy that I think Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes will acquire. It fits precisely actually what I think could happen. Because again, I don't think they're going to acquire these blue chip pieces on the market. They do so is going to be through a trade of the guy that already has a few years on his contract. If somebody who doesn't mind looking up Lattimore's current contract, I'm curious what that is. That makes perfect sense because you have Aaron Glenn, who formerly worked with them in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the guy's a fucking stud, and I could speak to that just from like when I watched him this year on Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football against the Jaguars. Calvin Ridley was fucking he's a monster, and he's still one of the higher, I guess, perceived higher guys on like this free agency class. He shut him down. He was non-existent. He fucked up my parlay.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn, Lattimore's good, man. That was a thought I had like coming away from it. Yeah, the Saints need to clear up some cap space, and that's a perfect. That's literally what I've been telling you guys. I don't think it's gonna be on the open market. It's gonna be through a trade. That is a perfect candidate for that. I think it could happen. Honest to God.
I would love for it to happen. We saw it happen last year with Jalen Ramsey. Nobody really expected him to go for as little as he went for, but Brad Holmes is going to do something. I'm telling you, he is going to bring in a quarterback. There is no way in God's green earth that week one we have the same cornerbacks we did in the NFC Championship game. I promise you that. He knows it's too important. He knows the window is too small, and he knows you need more fucking talent out there. Like you need better players to be a better team, and we want to be a better team. We want to win a Super Bowl.
So I'm currently looking at Marshawn Lattimore's contract, if I'm not mistaken. He signed through 2027, and they could off him. Oh, it would hurt them. Let me see. Hold on, post cut. Maybe that changes anything. Yeah, okay. They could off him, and it'd only be like a $1 million savings, but it's still a savings that they need to make. Marshawn Lattimore is also through contract through 2027. And again, you talk about Brad Holmes saying he wants to be careful with spending that money. He wants to be making calculated decisions. You're not spending that money. You're just acquiring the contract that's already there.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about like being careful and calculated. Again, you have the inside source. All you need with AG working with this kid beforehand.
Yeah. That was the big part, is he emphasized knowing everything about the player. And that's why him and Brad are so and certified on not bringing in free agents, but dealing mostly in-house. And that's why this makes sense, because there is the AG connection. And, he probably doesn't know him completely, but he knows him more than 90% of the other free agents or players that become available via trade. Like, that's something that lines up perfectly.
I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm feeling comfortable enough to go out there and
say it's going to happen.
Yeah.
He played with Glenn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played with Glenn. He was drafted in 2017. But it's the same way we had that feeling for the Dave Montgomery shit going down.
Mm-hmm.
This is like Zach's scenario. We just draw it out. I mean, I don't know how many more times I can say it. This is happening.
Big Brad Holmes guy, because he's only played in 17 games the last 2 years, so he's dealt with some injuries. Does that deter you at all from going after him?
No, it doesn't. Because I mean, in a trade, he gets discounted off rip in that first year, to where, 2025 it's looking like a $30 million cap hit, but that obviously will be negotiated, I believe. That's what I mean. The cap has always gone up too, by the way.
So the injuries don't scare you at all.
What are we looking at, Nick? How many games you played the past
10 games
5 years?
last year and 7 games before that. So just the last 2 that I'm looking at. 10 games 2023, 7 games 2022.
I mean, for me, I think that just lowers the asking price, right?
I like the sound of that.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, beforehand, this guy, he was Defensive Rookie of the Year, 4-time Pro Bowler. Was he on the All-Pro his rookie year? No, he wasn't. What's the value here, you guys think?
Probably around for what Jalen Ramsey went for. I would assume it's going to be around there. Yeah, a 3rd-round pick, something like that. It's nothing. You're not going to have to give up a first to get this guy. Like that. That's what it is.
I mean, he is. How old is he? 96, 27 years old. Ramsey, what was 30, 29 when he got traded?
Same. Yeah, I think he was 29.
Ramsey was all pro.
So compared to Pro Bowl. That's fair. I mean, we got 2 3rd-rounders.
That's what I'm saying. We got 2 of them.
Am I underselling him on like the value of him in a trade?
I don't think so.
What would you be willing to part with to acquire him?
A 3rd-round pick.
Just the one?
And something else small.
Maybe like a future 5th or something.
Yeah.
Like a Ford Focus?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give him a Ford
black
F-150.
and gold Ford Focus.
I'll give him a Ford F-150 and
one of the last Mustangs in production. I'm looking at his completion percentage on last year's games. I have to go to the advanced analytics for that one.
But I'm all for making the risk, because you know what? We were this close this year. And you got to expect internal growth, not only from the coaching staff, but the players as well, because this is a young nucleus. And if you think about, you just plug him in and, okay, say he's CJ DJ, like he misses most of the season or some of the season here and there. All he has to do is make 1 or 2 plays in that NFC Championship game, and we're in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this team isn't that far away. So that's why I'm okay with going after a quote-unquote injury risk, because when you're so close, you don't need their full potential. Now, that'd be great. I'd love to have him play all 17 games this season, but you don't truthfully need that. You need him to just be better than Kendall Vildor and what else the Detroit Lions secondary had. So that's easy.
it's not hard.
He was put on IR with an ankle injury and did not return. His head coach, Dennis Allen, said it was fairly significant, but I mean, by now, you got to think that ankle's just
it's not
100%
as bad as the
fine.
cervix. He'll be fine.
Yeah, it's true. He should be fine.
It's very true. I'm trying to find his. I don't want to go to PFF for this, man. Just give it to me, Pro Football Reference. I'm looking for like his completion percentage, like what he's allowing to quarterbacks. I might have to go to PFF on this one. I didn't want to, but I'll pull it up.
We got Kirby Iffy, says Denver Blair, neither of which play corner.
Yeah.
Those are 2 safeties.
Yeah, those
Thanks
safeties.
for playing, bud.
Thanks for playing, bud. Weezy D313 says, are we to a point where we go for Clownies and Ramseys and Mike Evans? First of all, Mike Evans is going to command some money.
And Andrew Jones makes a good point. We don't want a budget cornerback on an island with JJ twice a year.
It's a great point.
It's a fantastic point. Like, you got good receiver on top of DJ Moore is pretty damn good as well. You got a bunch of guys in the Packers that are pretty good. Look what Brandon Ayuk did to us in the NFC Championship game. Like, having a lockdown cornerback is extremely important in the NFL, especially when you're trying to play these better teams. CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, Brandon Ayuk, and Justin Jefferson all cooked us in a row.
I'm looking because GBDNC ENT in the Woodward Sports chat says that they just restructured him in January. Yep, 1 month ago, restructured, reduced salary cap hit from $25 million to $14. I mean, still do it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean, pick up the phone. That does make me want to change the
phone,
guarantee
baby.
there. I'm not necessarily guarantee, but something to keep on the radar. Fuck. I wanted that to happen so bad. DNC, why you got to ruin that for me, man? Why you got to ruin that for me? I guess the search continues. Chat. Find us some CBs, some DBs like this, man.
Yeah.
We need them. And I think that's how we're going to acquire them going forward, because they're obviously not grabbing them in the open market. There's breaking news with Jerry Sneed saying that he's for sure shopping for a new team via trade, but they're not going to pay a guy like that. They're just not. Tell us about Lady Jane, Spinny.
Lady Jane's. Come into Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expenses spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
The Michigan Green Industry Association event with Alta Equipment. Meet the Big D Energy cast at the Michigan Green Industry Association event with Alta Equipment. That's Neil Rule, Darren McCarty. I feel like I'm going to try to talk Spinmo into. I don't know what's going to happen there, but KG and the rest of the crew from 11 to 1 p.m. Come by the Suburban Collection Showplace at 46-100 Grand River Avenue in Novi. Say what up, though, to the boys. Get some pictures, get some food, and also they got top-line technology and services from the exhibitors as well. I'm talking about lawn and landscape equipment, heavy-duty equipment, snow equipment, trucks. Know y'all love you some trucks, nursery stock, chemicals, hardscape, irrigation, water features, lighting, all that good stuff.
That's a lot.
That's Uptime, Alta Equipment. That is March 5th, by the way. March 5th. You guys want to pull up and chill with the boys. I'm looking at trade candidates in the NFL. How do you guys feel about CBS, bro? Like
they do some clickbaity stuff, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? I want to click on this article, but just my experience as a Detroit Lions fan with CBS stuff is like ass, bro. I don't even like. They've ruined it for me. This is the first publication where I'm like, yeah, I'm just not gonna. Actually, no, Bleacher Report. It's been great to me, so I always click on their stuff. But
Yeah.
CBS the first one.
Yeah, for sure. CBS is bad.
Sporting news. How you feeling on this one? Should we click on this one?
What are you doing?
I'm just trying to find some trade candidates, man.
Yeah.
MSN. What is that?
MSNBC.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
It's just MSN though.
Oh.
I'm not familiar with the game. I just want a cornerback, man. That's all I fucking want, Brad. Oh, here's one. Nope, that's not
Murphy Bunting would be nice as shift guard.
Ooh, he's a free agent too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Murphy Bunting would be nice. These are all receivers in this one, man.
Tre'Davious White, so shit. Yeah.
Wait,
He's got cut.
He's got cut?
I think so, yeah.
What?
Or he's about to get cut.
Oh, yeah. What? Why are we not talking about that?
I mean, he had an Achilles injury, I think.
That's Brad Holmes. That's Brad Holmes'
He's been
type.
injured like the past four years.
Hey, him and Emmanuel Mosley on 1-year deals. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. I am not complaining. I'm also.
That one's a little too risky for me.
Are you comfortable if it is Emmanuel Mosley and Kendall Vildor? If that's the haul?
No.
And they draft someone too?
Not really.
No?
No.
Just because of the injuries? I mean, you got there with Kendall Vildor.
Yeah, I understand you got there with Kendall Vildor, but you also gave up 27 straight unanswered points in the NFC Championship game with Kendall Vildor.
Got Terrell Williams helping that D-line.
Well, I'd rather have a good cornerback as well.
Putting pressure on him. No, I feel you. the thing that like busts my balls a little bit too is like when Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes like speak on these things, they feel like they speak like from their experience at other places when they've witnessed success. I know the Saints traded for Jimmy Graham. I know they traded away Jimmy Graham.
Yeah.
For the center. Which I mean, I don't know if they made any other big plays, but obviously the Rams made plenty of fucking crazy moves.
Mm-hmm.
That's like where Brad Holmes come from. So it's like, what do you mean you don't believe in it? You
saw it.
Yeah,
it worked.
It worked.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out. Again, like I said, I find it very hard to believe they go into next season with Kendall Hilder and Cam Sutton as their 1 and 2 on the outside. I do think they're gonna make some changes.
Next week we'll be joined by Ted Wynn from The Athletic, and hopefully he'll have some insider news for us too. And actually, I'll send some text out this week too with the combine. All that kind of stuff's discussed at the combine either way. But without further ado, Spinny, Dan Campbell changing the NFL landscape when it comes to hiring head coaches.
Yeah, we got a Dan Campbell video about it. We talked about it before about like if we think the success of Dan Campbell is going to lead to NFL coach or NFL GMs and owners looking at these guys who are maybe not the prototypical NFL head coach, like maybe not the guys that you always see, the smart or the run of these offensive geniuses that we saw, and maybe they're going to switch over to more Dan Campbell type guys, and you kind of saw it with Dan Campbell, with D'Amico Ryans getting that job, with Antonio Pierce retaining the job in Las Vegas, and Dan Campbell had some thoughts on it.
Well, look, I would say that Antonio did a good job over there. I mean, so that speaks for him. You know, it's not an easy situation. I've been in that as an interim, and to take over, and you know, you're trying to do it your way, but you're trying to keep it afloat. So, but I thought he did a tremendous job. He earned that. He earned another opportunity. So, you know, I'm sure I'm part of that, as far as not that, but just hey, maybe there is a thing with the ex-players, but I think those guys have done a good job. D'Amico's done a good job. He's earned that. So I just bring it up again. You can find good coaches that are ex-players and coaches have never played the game at the NFL level. You can. So they're out there. You just got to find them.
I read a comment real quick from because I mess with Eduardo O'Neill. That's the homie. I like the comments he puts in, and he put a comment that caught my eye because I don't necessarily agree with it half the time. But he says Steve Wildes knows balls. So I scroll up to Steve Wildes' comments. I apologize to go away from the Dan Campbell coaching stuff. He says Autry, Gilmore, Van Ginkel, draft, extend Aleem, Sewell, Amon-Ra. Outside the extensions, Autry, Gilmore, Van Ginkel. I would love that haul.
Yeah.
Of free agents.
That'd be nice.
I'd be pretty fucking comfortable doing that, if I'm being honest with you. But on to Brad Holmes. I actually love that haul. That would be beautiful. But Dan Campbell changing the landscape of the NFL. I think it's in the eye of the beholder, man. Because I do think in some sense, yeah. But at the same time, we heard that, and I don't know if it's true or not. Obviously, we hear like weird stuff about Ben Johnson and his head coaching stuff. But Mike Vrabel physically intimidated an owner out of hiring him. That's a former head coach of the year, a guy that's drugged. And I don't mean it's a disrespectful sense. If it comes off that way, I apologize. But Ryan Tannehill, as his starting quarterback to a conference championship game, like that's a guy you would want to hire if it's changing the landscape and hiring former players turned coaches. Like that's him not having a job is crazy to me.
It's literally a football team, not a debate team. Like, what are you intimidated by? Don't you want somebody intimidated?
As brilliant as some of these offensive minds are, outside of Kyle Shanahan, I still feel like you need that football coach in you because at the end of the day, like it's mind over matter in a lot of these situations, man. And you want a guy that's been in the trenches beforehand to hype these guys up, but know that like the victorious side of it exists.
They respect that. They resonate with that more.
Yes.
As players, when you know that guy's been there before, he's done that before, he's been in the situations, he's been in these trenches, he's been to Super Bowls, he's been on 0-16 teams. He's done all of this in his career before. He's gone through the gruels of training camps, of OTAs, of a regular season, of a deep playoff run. He knows how it feels. You listen to that more. You hear that more. You respect that more. And you saw what happened with a guy like Antonio Pierce. He took over the same exact team as Josh McDaniels and turned them around. They look completely different. Antonio Pierce did a very, very good job with that team. And I was even like struck by it. Like I remember commenting on one of the Raiders posts or I think it was Antonio Pierce posted it, of him walking out of the tunnel, leading the team, wearing black Air Forces. I was like, if he doesn't get this job, like, you should riot. Like, it's, they connect with the players more, and they listen to them more. They play harder for a guy. You have a guy like Dan Campbell at training camp telling you, hey, we're going to be hitting every other day. But trust me, guys, all I think about is you guys, man. You got to believe me. Players will believe that. Rather than Matt Patricia pulling up on the quad with a broken leg, like, dagger time. Like, that's not something that resonates with the guys. They're gonna listen to a guy that's been in the trenches.
Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
No, I'm with you, Nick.
Yeah, one other thing I wanted to highlight too is these guys are young that are coming into the locker room.
Yeah.
And these kids are way different in the social media era that you have to coach for. You know, the whole entire locker room's different. I remember the quotes from like Stafford in his locker room. You know, he wasn't resonating with these younger guys. People have to change, and these coaches have changed with the times. We've seen a guy like Bill Belichick retire, not get a job. Is Bill still?
No, it's the Falcons he was flirting with.
Yeah, exactly. And then Pete Carroll as well. You know, so the times are changing in the NFL, and they're obviously going younger, and more ex-players definitely resonate with these guys.
How many times do we got to teach you this lesson, old man? Like, these guys aren't gonna take that shit. They're not gonna take the abusive coach anymore. The Bobby Knight-esque coach, the Bill Parcells-esque coach. Like, they're looking for guys like Dan Campbell. Looking for
if you're
guys
gonna
like
take
that.
it, it's gonna be from a guy who's been in your shoes.
Yes.
A guy who can, on the other side of it. And although I had this conversation with GQ, it's like, different era of football too, where like they played on a lot harsher conditions, if you will. I know that don't let that come off as soft at all, but like sometimes it's hard to relate to that way. But they've done it though. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we're gonna do this today. I know it sucks, but it turns out teams that done that I took part in won championships, or at least like put themselves in a position to. Of the hiring cycle this year, Jim Harbaugh, Dan Quinn, Dave Canales, Gerard Mayo, Antonio Pierce, Brian Callahan, and Mike McDonald. Jim Harbaugh, former player. Gerard Mayo, former player. I don't know. No, Callahan wasn't. And Mike McDonald, no. So there's 3 of them in there. And I want to give Antonio Pierce his due respect, too. Like, he earned that.
Yes.
Like, as much as, like, Dan Campbell maybe turn the tide for people wanting, like, relatable coaches or guys that can, like, I guess, you know, be there long term because you can buy into them a little bit there. Antonio Pierce earned every bit of that when he set the franchise record of an ass whooping on the Chargers.
Yeah.
And escorted Brandon, whatever fuck his face is.
Staley
out of his head coaching job. Antonio Pierce was deserving of that. And their blue chip guy put his foot down on it too. Mm-hmm. Max Crosby said, hey, if we don't bring this guy back.
Yeah, I'm gone.
Yeah, I don't want to be here.
So it's what you need when you have a guy like Dan Campbell motivating you to play, who has seen the great coaches, who has seen the Bill Parcells, the Sean Paytons, the other guys go out there and win Super Bowls. He's been a part of a Super Bowl, and he's been a part of a team in Detroit that didn't win a single football game. So he could tell you what those guys on that team did that didn't work and what the guys on the other teams did that actually worked. And that is way more important than Matt Patricia riding around in a quad going, I made the best play call in defensive football history. Like, shut up, man. Nobody cares about you. It's not about you. It's about Malcolm Butler making the play. All I care about is you guys, man. So I love that they're getting that run. I love that you've got those guys out there that they die for their players. They die for these guys because they know where they're coming from. They know how shitty it is to go into a NFL season off of a grueling training camp, play the 17-game season, and then try to make a playoff run. They know how you feel. Mm-hmm. They know how you feel when you're coming off of week 17, week 18, and got to get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah.
They know you're not 100%. They know you're banged up. But they're there for you. It is a huge difference from what we were seeing earlier. And you had the run of these genius, play callers, and that's still you're still going to get those guys
too. Yeah,
you're still going to get those guys.
Yeah. Well, here's the other part of it too, right? I don't think it may be changing the landscape, yes, but let me be honest with you. There's only one Dan Campbell, and anyone that's ever had a prior relationship with this guy, when at least in the national media circuit, when they're having these interviews with him, oh damn, man. That's a guy. They'll always have a story. Yeah. How he's been able to break down, connect with them. And I don't remember who it was in the NFL Network on whatever morning show they do. Good Morning Football. It's one of the best. I don't know why I forgot that. But he had mentioned that's a guy who can relate to every single person on that roster, despite coming from a different background. He's able to break down and have that conversation human to human. As much as there may be a trend going on with former players turn coaches, there's only one Dan Campbell, and we got him. Yeah. Only one Dan Campbell. Let me tell you about Fairway Pack Company. For over 6 years, we provide Michigan's finest hotels, restaurants, and casinos with the finest prime beef, dry-aged beef, and every kind of beef you can think of. Go to fairwaypacking.com, get delivered right to your door, or stop for grab-and-go steaks with Fairway Packing in Grosse Pointe. If you step in there, tell them the Heavyweight sent you.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? It's a new era in sports wearables. New design, amazing appeal. The ultimate swag. Check out woodwardsports.com. Click the shop tab. Get yourself hoodies, hats, tees, all guaranteed to turn heads. So head on over and get the latest sports merch at woodwardsports.com by clicking the shop tab today.
Welcome to Woodward Sports. I'm Eazy. That's been more Rax.
Hi.
Young Chris, Unky Nick. Smash that like button. Be a friend. Tell a friend. Share the stream. In the comments of Woodward Sports chat, and I agree to this, and I think this is a guy that I think could be blue chip or has shown blue chip traits. And I don't know if his current organization has the money to bring him back. And it's AJ Espinoza. Andrew Jared Espinoza from the Buffalo Bills, 6'6", 260, Sam linebacker / edge rusher. I've witnessed him do work here in Detroit, and he's been having a little bit of health issues. But the past 2 years, Spinny, in limited action, because I don't know if he's a starter. Let me check. But 6.5 sacks back-to-back years. Would that be a Brad Holmes guy?
Yeah. Sounds good. 6.5 sacks in back-to-back years sounds pretty good. That would be second on the team last year. So,
and that's as a reserve guy, too.
As a spot starter.
Only started in the Jacksonville game, in which he did cash in on 2 sacks in that situation. Everybody recommending AJ Espinoza. I think that is a Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell guy, too, just from whatever we see on the field. In a limited fashion or limited action he's got, if he's eating, that sounds like a guy Brad Holmes or Dan Campbell would love. A guy that just busts his ass and a little bit of shine he gets. AJ Espinoza. You are Detroit Lion. No, I'm just kidding. I can't go that far. Who would you rather have, him or Van Ginkel?
Him.
Let me see. They have him as a defensive lineman here on the. But I've seen him play the linebacker position for him too. I've seen him in there as a Sam.
I'd rather have him. He's a guy you can move around. Guy can play multiple different positions.
2 interceptions last year too.
Guy that can play coverage. This is a guy.
8 pass deflections, 2 interceptions, 6.5 sacks, and 10 quarterback hits. Again, not even a starter.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I would love to see. I would love to see that happen. Give me somebody. Worth something.
Somebody.
You can't have like 5 sacks being second on your team again. I could not have that happen. With what you have in Aiden Hutchinson, with where you're trying to go, what you're trying to accomplish as a team, you need to get the quarterback on the ground more. You need more consistent output from other guys. If he was like third on the team in sacks in like 4 games, come on. I can't have Romeo Okwara getting you 2 sacks. I can't have Julian Okwara being 1 sack. I can't even remember Charles Harris being 1.5 sacks. Like, we need more production out of that position flat out. And I do think Terrell Williams is going to help that. And I think Josh Pascal has a good year next year. I think Ali McNeil, if he stays healthy, he'll be right around 7-8 sacks next year. So we'll see. But having another bookend pass rusher is vital.
And again, for anybody that missed that, and this actually, Nick, I'm going to you on this one because you're your numbers guy. By the numbers.
By the numbers. I know
6.5
exactly what you're going to
sacks,
say.
10 QB hits, 2 interceptions, and 8 pass deflections, and 15 games played in limited action because he was not the starter. How you feeling about that?
Yeah, I would absolutely love this guy. I loved him coming out of college when he was at Iowa.
Epinesa, I apologize.
Yeah,
guys.
AJ Epinesa. I liked him a lot coming out of college, where he produced at Iowa as well. We know we love our Iowa guys for this team with Sam Laporta, Jack Campbell. We got 2 last draft class. I would absolutely take a look at him. I'm down to bring in a guy that maybe didn't get the snaps that he wanted in Buffalo. And plus they had such a stacked D-line in the past, maybe where he wasn't able to get his spots, like guys like Von Miller getting brought in there. So I'm definitely down to take a look at AJ Epinesa, however you say it.
Epinesa? Epidermal. Comments from Woodward Sports Chat, Shift God, CJ DJ might not be back. What's the word? It says CJ will be back. I don't know. I'm down for him to be back, by the way. It's not like a... It was once I realized when they had 2 safeties in the roster, it's like, okay, yeah, probably bring him back. Especially if he's down with doing the rotational situation.
Down the clown?
You down the clown, brother. Why are you making a face, Chris?
It's interesting that you say you're down to bring him back.
Well, I'm about my team.
Open-handedly ruined the locker room. Single-handedly ruined the locker room.
I didn't say that. I said it could lead to that. And by the way, after I said that, he changed the tune. I think partly obviously because I said that is like, okay, I'm gonna show you type of thing, but also maybe help realize that sometimes you need to get called out. You need to hear it. If you look yourself in the mirror and be like, am I?
Eazy is the savior. You heard it here first.
Hey, I am not your savior.
I am not your savior.
I am not your savior.
I got a troll comment, but whatever. Hutch is not this elite pass rusher from somebody in the chat.
BP.
Yeah, I was doing that on purpose. Yeah,
BP.
But I honestly
DP?
think Hutch is going to take a huge step going into year 3, especially we've talked a lot about Terrell Williams today, the defensive coach. I know you said it would probably help out some guys that were maybe more middling, like a guy like Pascal, guy like Ali McNeil, but I honestly think it will help out Aiden Hutchinson significantly, and we know how many pressures he had this year. So some of those are going to turn into sacks.
Yeah, I don't think he needs a new coach to tweak and make things better. I think what he needs to help him the most is the other guys around him to step up, to make sure that he's not getting double teamed and chipped every play, to have a guy that can beat one-on-ones on the other side so it makes it easier and teams can't just only focus their schemes on him. I think that's the biggest thing that Aiden Hutchinson needs, where he's going to take the jump from 11.5 to 14, 15, 16, is having another guy out there that other teams have to worry about.
Woodward Sports Chat, I see comment from Steve Wilds. McNeil will get 8+ sacks. I agree. On his Instagram page already, he's posting the workouts again.
Yeah.
And I usually don't see that stuff coming till summertime. Aleem's already, and that's one of the reasons they drafted him. That is the I guess, framework or standard of a player the Detroit Lions want to acquire. Aleem McNeil is that. And I could see, if he plays, if he's healthy for the rest of the season, I can see him having 8+ sacks. I think he proved himself as a interior pass rusher. And again, for me, again, it's a similar thing you were saying. I don't think Hutchinson's going to get tweaked too often, too much. I think, obviously, he's showcased what he can be, what he does. It's going to be the guys around him that I think need the tune-up. And for me, the main name is Broderick Martin.
Okay.
Because we're sitting here talking about wanting a blocking defensive tackle. We're falling in love with Tavondre Sweat. We have a guy with that similar build on our squad right now. Mm-hmm. It's just he needs to be molded. That's Terrell Williams' wheelhouse. We watched a guy I can sit here comfortably and say, and it's also partly because I can only name you probably 2 or 3 of these guys in the first place. When I'm talking about linebackers coach, that Calvin Shepard's probably top 5, top 3 linebacker coach in the league. Dan Campbell, who's interviewed for the position, acquired a guy and called him the best. I'm expecting bumps from natural bumps too, from just going to the bathroom with your boys, but also just kidding. No, but natural bumps for being a sophomore year.
I want it.
But Broderick Martin's the piece that I feel like he's been brought in to work with. The interior defensive line, and you spoke on it earlier too. I mean, it goes beyond that too. You talk about Josh Pascal, guy still plays the interior.
Yeah,
I think that's the way he works best with. I guess he has Cliff Averill on his resume too. Cameron Wake. Maybe he does help out Hutch.
I think he's going to help out everybody. I think he's going to help out everybody, and that's what we need most. Is, like I said, the other guys. No Will Ferrell. You need the other guys to take a vault. We can't have like I said, man, Romeo Okwara with 1 sack.
Yeah.
Charles Harris with a sack and a half. Julian Okwara with 2 sacks. Those can't be the guys that are supposed to be rotating in and getting plays.
Yeah.
You need to make some things happen.
The Lions need a faster linebackers expeditiously. It says truth over emotions. Listen, I think Enzo did his fucking thing this year. I'm not taking anything away from Alex Anzalone. I'm fine with him being the starter returning next year. I think it's Jack Campbell, who, by the way, has that speed. He has the high RAS score. We went over it last year, the raw athletic score. It's up there with Brian Branch at the safety position. It's just him getting to know the game a little bit more. And I think that's going to come with the sophomore season. You always hear these players talk about it. I mean, I've had conversations with guys, Malcolm Rodriguez being one of them, is like the speed of the game is the hardest part to adjust to. You hear it almost in every sport. I know it translates to basketball too. It's adjusting to the speed of the game at the pro level. I think that's what you're going to see out of the sophomore season for Jack Campbell. I don't think you need faster guys per se. I think they have that. It's just he has to adjust to the level of play, the speed of play. And I think that's coming this year. Luther Ellis, hell yeah.
Shout out Jonah Ellis.
Talking about Jonah Ellis? I would love for that to be the guy too.
Uncle Snoop 48213. It says, you tell him, Spenny, we need Dirty Mike and the boys to go crazy. I want a soup kitchen in that backfield. Like, you got to go out there and make some things happen. Like, thanks for the fuck shack, Dirty Mike and the boys. That's what I want opposing quarterbacks to be feeling. Some Dirty Mike and the boys breathing down their necks. Like, we need consistent pressure from multiple sources in that backfield.
I want to make this comment real quick too, because I do love Van Ginkel as a prospect becoming a Detroit Lion. And he's not a prospect, he's already in the league, but I'm talking about a guy that we're going to acquire. The one thing that makes me nervous about that one is I feel like he may outprice himself because talking about guys, Van Ginkel, talking about like limited snaps, showcasing like high-end ability. He showed that. So I don't know if he is going to be looked at as a depth guy in any situation he goes to. I know he was that in Miami, literally, and part of that's because Jaden Phillips is a monster. But like what he showcased in limited snaps, I feel like he's gonna go somewhere to be like a guy rather than a depth guy.
Yeah,
but he can be a guy here too.
Yeah, he can.
I don't know if he's gonna command a crazy contract.
I'm cool with signing a guy. I'm cool with signing multiple guys. Like I fell in love with DJ Reader and the prospect of what he can be for this team. If Broderick Martin isn't ready to go and be that same piece, but. That's what I want. I want, like I said, an eater. A guy that eats double teams. A guy that eats blockers. I want an eater that eats it for lunch in between Ali McNeil and Aiden Hutchinson to open those guys up to one-on-one matchups and to have them produce more because they're not getting double teamed every snap.
Yeah, so for the numbers guys like Nick, with only 11 starts, the back half starting the rest of the season because Phillips got hurt. 6 sacks from Van Ginkel, 8 tackles for loss, 19 quarterback hits.
Damn.
1 interception. That 1 interception did come back for a touchdown and 8 pass deflections.
What's his size? How big is he?
Van Ginkel is 6'4", 242 pounds, and he is the uglier version of Alex Anzalone for damn sure. That is one ugly motherfucker. No offense, Van Ginkel. I hope I come to love you for who you are when we sign you as a Detroit Lion. He's 28 years old actually, so he may be a little bit cheaper than we're thinking. I'm here for that all day. His position on Pro Football Reference, outside linebacker. So, I mean, that fits the Sam spot. I just feel like he might cost a little bit much. But I want him. Don't get me wrong. That's just the only thing I can see happening where we don't get him.
And I want you.
And I want you.
I call you Chris Hampson.
Listen, we got 2 more weeks in the free agency
easy way
opens.
or the hard way?
313, 313 day.
I came here looking for some booty.
That means something good's happening for us. 313 free agency open, Spinny. We're getting a Van Ginkel. We're getting, how do you say the last name? Espinoza. And who was the other guy they had on there? Autry.
Danico Autry.
Autry and Espinoza, I feel like. If you had to make a bet.
Espinoza.
On a guy that's going to become a Detroit Lion for damn sure, who would it be? Free agency-wise, not draft.
Graham Glasgow. Loophole.
All right, the guy that didn't play for the Lions this past season.
Man.
Evan Brown.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Let them know when we get back.
Yeah, I'll have to think about it. But let me tell you about Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home to judgment-free zone where anyone, and mean anyone, can work on their fitness goals. No matter where you're at, there's Planet Fitness close by, more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. Planet Fitness, home of the squeaky clean gym. You can get a full body workout in just 30 minutes of a 30-minute circuit. All memberships include fitness training. You get all of that for just $10 a month. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Shout to Eduardo O'Neill, says he can see the Detroit Lions sign for $5 or $6 million per year. I'm looking at Van Ginkel's career earnings. There's a total of $7 million. He's an undrafted. Oh no, he was drafted in 2019, and then he re-signed with the Dolphins. But his career earnings, nonetheless, $7 million. And I watched him on Hard Knocks this past season. He has like 3 kids, 2 kids. I feel like he want to get paid. But maybe that 5 to 6 to him is a lot because he's only made 7 total. I would love for Van Ginkel to come and become a Detroit Lion.
Gank that van.
Gank that van, baby. That's all I'm saying. You feel me? I'm trying to think of other outside linebackers Detroit Lions acquired within the Brad Holmes regime and what type of deals, what type of numbers they had beforehand. Let me look at Anzo. Anzo's last year in New Orleans. Here, well, will you look up Anzo's contract history from when he first signed with the Lions?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to look up his production.
I got to close a bunch of tabs.
That
got
previous season. Open. And he's obviously a middle linebacker, so this is a little bit different. I guess he's on here as an outside linebacker in the New Orleans year. He had 22 solo tackles, 19 assists, 3 TFLs, 0 QB hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 starts. 9 starts. He started the last game of the year.
I got the spinning wheel of death.
0 sacks.
Oh, there we go.
And Anzalone was signed for, it had to be something low. I feel like it almost might have been like $2 million. And that's half the reason he came here. That and AG. Yeah, my internet's crashing too right now. What's going on? Damn
AT&T.
Hey, don't.
Did you see AT&T's offering $5 gift certificates to the people that got affected by the outage? Like, I know you couldn't call or text anybody for multiple days, but we'll give you $5 for it.
$5.
$5.
So did he get re-signed? He got re-signed in the 22 offseason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, he signed for 1.7, and then 22 was 2.2. So $3 million. I guess if Van's not getting offered a bag somewhere, you could offer him.
He's getting more than
a 1 or 2, 10 or 12.
He'll get more than that for sure.
Honestly, fucking do it. Why not? I know Dion wanted that Sam spot. I wanted that DT, but maybe Broderick's gonna be it. I got a feeling Broderick might fulfill that fantasy for me. Pause. But with Terrell Williams in house and hearing Dan Campbell speak the way it was, I might be leaning off the one. I mean, I still think we should get one for Roto in depth, like they said. I think they will do that. I think it's really looking like a DJ Reader. But I'm not going to keep salivating over these guys in the open market when I know where I want to have faith, at least, in Terrell Williams making a fucking monster out of Broderick.
I think Terrell Williams is going to definitely improve these guys. But, again, I think you can always improve externally by bringing in more talent. Like, there's nothing wrong with bringing in more talented guys.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm just trying to... This is probably stuff I should be doing before the show. But you guys are giving good names. And I'm trying to see like how that correlates to what we've done in the past. We got a couple things we do, Spinny. Stevie Y. Not making a move for the deadline.
Who said that?
I read it somewhere.
From who?
Let me find it for you.
You wrote it down before you went to bed?
No, I read it. That they may be patient, staying pat at the line, that deadline.
I mean, that's definitely been around. I've definitely saw our boy Ryan Hanna that came on Friday. He had a thing come out with Max Boltman from The Athletic, a pod. for the winged wheel, he talked about it could be internal moves that these guys make, bringing up a guy like Edvinson or Bergeron, and I'm just that's what I've heard. I wasn't for quote verbatim.
This is from Detroit Free Press today. Helen St. James, Detroit Red Wings may not make a huge splash at trade deadline. You want me to read it?
Yeah.
From scoring first to getting them across the finish line, Patrick Kane has the Detroit Red Wings on the road to the playoffs. They headed to Tuesday's matchup against the Washington Capitals on a 5-game winning streak. Kane on an 8-game point streak. A little more than a week out from March 8th NHL trade deadline. Kane is a big reason why General Manager Steve Yzerman may stay his hand. Yzerman already added a game changer in November when he signed Kane, and just a few months after trading for Alex DeBrincat. In the end, those guys find a way. Coach Lalonde said after Sunday's game, "They're the ones on the score sheet, found a way to get us 2 points. The fourth line got us the first goal, and then DeBrincat and Kane took it to the finish line." What? Am I reading?
No.
What, Chris?
No, Chris. L. Reader. No, I'm just kidding. It's Chris is
Dude, I would have killed that read, but you're doing a good job.
No, it was Chris.
Would you be pissed?
I wouldn't be pissed. No, I would be mildly upset. Yeah.
Is it similar to last year's trade deadline for the Detroit Lions for you?
That's what I was going to ask.
No.
Which is more egregious, not standing pat?
Lions.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Just because.
Yeah.
And by the way, Brad Holmes was trying to make moves.
The Red Wings aren't cup contenders, really, this year.
Until
but they move away from it, though.
Are they what?
But are they a move away from it,
No.
though?
I mean, anything can happen in the NHL playoffs. NHL playoffs are the most batshit crazy playoffs out of all of them. But they're not. I don't think they're move away from being serious cup contenders. No. I would like to see them grab a guy like Chychrun or Chris Tanev for sure at the trade deadline.
So you know how I say, and I don't think this is the same in hockey, but you guys can verify for me.
Let's do that hockey.
Yeah. Right. Okay. No, but seriously. In the NBA, I obviously didn't like the Ivy pick for a reason as a fit. I still think he's tremendous talent. I bring out the Luka Doncic.
Always brings it back to
and Kyrie Irving.
His guts.
Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving fit.
Shut up, Nick. You love him.
You hate Ivy's guts?
No, he loves it.
After Ivy choked him at that one game.
Either way.
You said he was Batman.
Luka and Irving.
Like last week.
And what is their record together?
Yeah, will you publicly apologize, Cade Cunningham, for the disrespect?
I apologize for not slobbering on Cade while we have 8 wins here. Yeah, I apologize for nothing. Cade, I think you're a great player. I have your jersey signed and hung in my apartment. I'm not a Cade hater. I need more wins out of you. All right, Cade?
You wanted him to be a trade piece in the future.
You did say trade it.
You took away his Batman badge. Just apologize.
Cade, you are Batman.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
That's all you got to say. Now say sorry.
Don't tell me what to do.
All right. But seriously, Luka and Kyrie, I don't like the fit. LeBron and Russ didn't like the fit. Is that the same way in hockey? Like, can we grab a guy that's super talented? And I don't believe it is. I think hockey has the Red Wings pass.
There's a lot of different fits to put into hockey. You have guys. Yeah, I mean, will there not be a fit on this line? Maybe not. But then, and the next line, they'll look pretty good.
Yeah.
You got 4 lines, so they're going to be a fit somewhere in the lineup. And the guys we're looking for are not fitting guys. Like, you're looking for a top 4 D-man, and that fits on any team in the NHL. And I think Chris Tanev would be great because he is a top 4 defensive guy on your team. He's a big, angry, aggressive dude who will put paws on people, and he's a right-handed shot. So I think he would be a perfect fit for the Red Wings.
Nick, does the chemistry matter? Just the same in hockey versus basketball?
I mean, I think it does. I mean, just from the outside looking in, I mean, I've never played on a hockey team in my life, I'll fully admit, but I believe it. I mean, how can it not? When it's such a timing sport, you know, we've seen it when it take time with Kane on those like backdoor type passes that we still have seen our guys just miss and not be there because they're not on the same page. I 100% believe it's a chemistry sport, but if you have the talent, the guys are going to figure it out. No doubt.
I mean, chemistry definitely matters in hockey. That's not what I'm
look
saying.
at Kane and DeBrincat.
Yeah, but it's not like
you're charts.
Bringing in one guy to bolster your team isn't going to ruin the chemistry of your team.
So you think they're still going for it?
I do.
You sound kind of pissed off. You sound like you'd be pissed if they don't make the move.
I mean, I'd be upset.
Like, where'd you see it? Where'd you see that?
Where'd you see that horse shit?
Yeah.
Who wrote? You want one? Who wrote it? You fucking want one? I just think they're in a good position to make that move. And maybe they don't. And if they don't, I mean, I'm not too mad. I trust in Steve Eisman and what he's going to do. But I'd like to see them add a top 4 defenseman to this lineup.
Spinning to Helen St. James at the show. Come on, bitch!
Because I think
take it back.
I think they have an extremely good chance of winning at least one playoff series. So, and I think a top 4 defenseman will solidify that.
And speaking of that playoff series, we got a big game tonight against the Capitals, who are trying. They got a game in hand on us. I mean, this is a big one tonight. What are your first thoughts on the game?
Can't go to overtime. That's my first thought. Is you need to win this in regulation. You can't let them get that extra little cheeky point because they do have like 2 games in hand or something like that. So you can't allow them to sneak a point out of there. You need to go out there. You need to win this in overtime. You're a better team than them. And put Rasmussen on Ovechkin when he's on the ice and make his life hell. The old one. And watch out for him in the fucking slot. That's what he does. Just put somebody on PK, just put him in Ovechkin's slot so he can't just sit there and load up because that's what he does. So
Cider?
No, not Cider. Somebody less important.
I want to see him get lap bombs to the ankle.
But I expect them to win. I expect this to be. They're coming off of a high. Lions in goal. Lions in net, right? Yeah, so, I expect them to get this done.
Yeah.
First look at the odds here. Red Wings are minus 176 in this one. So
on
I
the
do
road
like
too,
that.
Right?
No, we're at home. We're back at LCA after the quick the turnaround from Sunday. But yeah, they played horrible for the first 2 periods of that game Sunday. So I do expect them to carry some of the momentum going into tonight. And I'm looking forward to watching it. It's kind of a low-key sneaky big night in Detroit sports here, especially especially with the Pistons coming off what they went through last game too.
Oh, boys,
nothing the Pistons will do will make it a big night.
Relax, bro. We can still love our Pistons.
Real quick.
Oh, you going to break?
Yeah.
Can I just read this one comment real quick?
This
team,
I'll allow it.
Sneaky big. It's like a grower, not a shower. Snooki Johnson, speaking of that, says this team doesn't need sneaky big. This team doesn't need to make a splash at deadline, get Costin out of town, and bring up Evanson and Bergeron.
I don't like getting Costin out of town. I'd rather get Hall out of town. I think we need somebody out there that can fight, especially when you get to the playoffs. But I wouldn't mind bringing up Evanson and Bergeron. But speaking of sneaky big boy, Seafood Fest is back in Big Boy. Catch it while you can. Dive into fish and chips and their Parmesan crusted cod, perfectly fried
sneaky big
clam shrimp platter, or delicious fish sandwich. A Big Boy must try their new mango iced tea, the unlimited complement to their popcorn shrimp Alfredo, or shrimp stir fry. Every day is fish fry at Big Boy, and don't forget every Friday night the all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. Seafood Fest is back at Big Boy. Go check it out.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Feel alive during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest New Year's sales event ever. Get the best prices on our huge selection of award-winning Chevrolets. Like this 2024 Equinox for $188 per month. Or this 2024 Silverado for $268 per month. It's the New Year's sales event going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Make sure my guy Mark is getting his money's worth. Send your mock drafts to Mark at SwissINS.com, and also the Woodward Motor City Heavyweights on Instagram and Twitter. But most importantly, Mark's gonna hit you back and let you know he's got the best in the business when it comes to home and auto insurance. That's my guy Mark at Swiss.com. Swiss INS. Whoops.
New episode dropping at 7. Before you watch Red Wings, go over there, smash the like button. Remember, Rex speaks.
We're cooking up the parlay. Shout out to GB, DNC, ENT for his contributions.
What?
He says Wings money line over 5.5. Larkin goal. Cade Cunningham 25 plus. That's a plus. Hey, I'm running with it. Fuck it, for the hell of it. But we're also gonna build a basketball one right now too.
Shout out Mike G. Shout out to everybody in the chat.
Yes. Everyone smash that like button. Millsack. We're also cooking a parlay right now.
All right, I cooked this one up this morning. I was strictly based on it. I had a sneaky good vibe on this one. Sneaky big vibe.
It's not. You're not selling it. Sneaky good vibe.
Sneak.
I'm already sketched
All
out.
right, I was the same vibe as yesterday. Easy's already out on it. Chris, let me know what you think. Spenmo, let's make some cash. Cade Cunningham, 20 points, a little passive compared to that 25.
Like it.
Ivy 10, that kind of scares me because Monty Williams, but Duran 10, Fettuccine 10, and Duran 8 boards. Let's go. We locking it in?
I locked that in.
Cade 20, Ivy 10, Duran 10, Fettuccine 10, Duran 8 boards.
Ivy 10, Duran 10. Did I hear Duran 10 there?
Yep, Fettuccine as well.
Can we get Duran 10 boards?
I did 8 boards. A little passive on it, but there's a 30% boost.
He's good for it.
Yeah.
Last time he was on a back-to-back.
He's more good for boards than points. I'd switch those. 8 points, 10 boards.
Okay, Chris. Last time I was on a back-to-back. I think this is where I was with it. I think he only had 8 or 9 boards. So that's where I was with that one. Little passive on it.
Constantly hating on the boys.
Look at his recent game log. It's boards over points.
Yo, how about Fettuccine? Sneaky good finisher.
Fettuccine's good, man.
He
He's
is
good around the rim.
Hey, he's sneaky athletic.
He is sneaky big.
How about 10 points on him?
I got 10 on him already
You
in
do?
the thing. Yeah, in the left.
All right, so 10 for Fettuccine.
Silky Johnson, player hater of the year. Say his name correct with that Luigi mustache.
Fontecchio.
Fontecchio. How about a Cade 6 assists? Or 4 assists?
I think you're getting 2. 4 sounds good.
4 assists? What do you say?
Said 4 sounds good.
He's going to say you're too greedy. And then
Nick,
like,
also send a link if you don't mind for yours.
All right.
All right. I'm cooking with that one. So far.
No.
Hey, DNC ENT, send yours and send your link too, please. And on X. Got Cade Cunningham 20.5 over. I know he said 25.
Just sounds nasty.
Ivy
though.
10
Send
points,
your
Duran
link
10
on
points,
X.
Duran 10
That
boards,
just sounds real
Fettuccine 10
Link in
points,
bio.
and Cade 4 assists. And should I grab anything from the Chicago side?
Vucevic always kills us.
Zach
Vucevic?
Levine. Is Zach Levine healthy?
No, he's
No.
out for the season.
DeMar
yeah, I
DeRozan smashed the points.
Who?
Or Kobe White. Kobe White, DeMar DeRozan, one of those two.
Kobe's
Colby
at 22.5.
Oh,
DeMar's at 23.5.
DeMar.
I'm going to take 15
DeMar.
and 15.
It's always the veteran.
How's that?
Okay.
Red Wings, anyone standing out to you tonight, Spenmo? I have one personally. It's
score a goal?
DeBrincat. It's DeBrincat. He's been hot, and we know he's streaky. It's Wings money line and DeBrincat to get one.
I like it.
Little passive.
I'm feeling an
285.
Andrew Kopp goal for some reason.
Oh, the odds on that are probably juice.
For some reason, feeling an Andrew Kopp goal tonight.
How about 2+ shots for our boy DeBrincat tonight?
Yes, for sure.
Or should I go 3? It's 3,
I'll go
just
two.
to save 2.
Go 2, yeah.
It's a minus 335. I'm added to this parlay. Kane 2 shots.
Sure.
How you feel about that,
Sounds good.
Nikki?
I like Kane 2 shots.
Kane 2 shots.
Yeah, I do think
Sounds good.
DeBrincat scores.
Ovechkin, 3?
That's my lock for the chat here.
I'm not sure. I need a.
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
about
maybe.
that. Sure.
All right, confidence level in the Wings picking up this big win though. Spenmo.
8.5.
Whoa. Damn. I like it.
Yeah, I've been kind of calling it on the Wings lately, at least for the overtime goals. But this
8.5
one,
out of 10.
shit's just like, and maybe I'm being pessimist. Right now, shit's just too good to be true.
Ooh, Mantha goal says
Maybe
ski
we
mask
brought
boy.
down
I
a-
don't hate that.
A Mantha goal.
Yeah.
Revenge goal. How about Mantha shots? Yeah.
Mantha's
I think Mantha gets a tip in. I don't know if it's a shot.
So that doesn't count as a shot when betting?
No.
Nick, you bet
It
live.
has to go in.
Ski Mask
Well, it's a
says
tip, it's not a shot.
Raymond scores, calling out Raymond. I do
Raise
like
it.
that. I could see it.
All right, but that'll do it for us today. Before you go watch the Red Wings game, go over to Spenmo Rack Speaks, smash the like button. I appreciate that. Subscribe, everything.
Lucas 2 shots?
Sure. That'll do it for us today. Make
don't
sure
need
you
sure,
smash
any
the
yes
like
or
button
no's.
for Eazy, for Nick, for Chris. I'm Spencer. Let's go fucking Red Wings. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Oh, they won't
Peace.
let me do any more 2 shots.